Okay. That was a test run. But we are live. That was a test run. Okay. Delete overlay. We don't want to do that. We want to say hi to everybody. How y'all doing today? We're live. We have 5 viewers already. We're live. So at any rate, oh my goodness, I'm excited. We want to say, first of all, thank you so much to you for saying yes to this call, Paul.
Oh, welcome.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm really hyped up right now. I'm just like a kid with a lollipop right now.
Isn't that how we should all experience life? Isn't that the way it should be?
Oh my goodness.
We do.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm just so excited that you made it here and you said yes. And I just want to welcome everybody, all of those who are watching. We have a few viewers on, and we're gonna be together for a little while today. And I want to just first acknowledge, see who we have talking to us in the chat before I get started on the questions that I want to ask you. I definitely want to read a little bit of your bio. We have most of your information. Some of your information is already posted in the comment section of Facebook, and I did give them I did post your website there as well. And I think I may have a pre-gift or something in that comment section. But ladies and gentlemen, I also post other links to some valuable gifts that he's going to give out today, and I'll go back and repost that as well in the comment, because it's always better to me when people are able to just click the button rather than write it off the screen here. But we'll get through it, so I will go back and post those things. But right now, let me just acknowledge some of these viewers. Oh, Dorothy! Hi, Dorothy! That's my confidant right there. That's my confidant. And then we have, Carla. Carla made it. Hi, Carla. Carla asked me in the chat. She says, what time is it? She was asking about the Eastern Standard Time. So thank you, Carla, for coming in. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with this interview. And as I was saying, we have Paul Fink here. And Paul is known as the Millionaire Maverick, doing it different, and that's what's unique about him. I read everything. You've been trained by the best.
Here.
You took all of that and you put your own spin on it, and you said, you know what, that's good, but you know what, I'm gonna do it just a little bit different. And that's what makes you stand out, and you do it the Maverick way. So let me introduce myself to our listening audience. I am Pat Rogers. I am the CEO of Unity in Service, where people need people. And I'm also a visibility strategist. I show individuals how to show up professionally on social media, all of their branding across social media when they host online events. So I assist you in putting your events together, and of course the graphic designs and all of those things that will make you stand out in front of the masses. I also have a platform here, as you can see, StreamYard, and it's called the Spotlight on You. And what I do here is I give you more exposure to our listening audience before the masses. Why do I say before the masses? Why? Because that's where everybody is, on social media. So if you're not there, no one sees you. And I actually assist you in getting more exposure. Not only that, I take this same content and after I've edited it, it comes to you so that you can post it wherever you want, and guess what? You have it for life. Because content is what we need, and we know videos are at the top of the list. And I also post your video on my website in my library with your website link so that I'm still marketing you. So that's what we do, and we are on 5 different platforms right now.
Beautiful.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different platforms, because this is also being up to YouTube as well as other platforms. So that's where we are, and that's who I am. And I have so we're gonna read. Let me just read your bio and get started. That's what I want. Because you got quite a few questions here. You got some information you can feed these people. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Paul Fink, known as the Maverick, the Millionaire Maverick. And Paul brings to the table a vast array of knowledge and skill. He brings a vast array of knowledge and skill sets from 30 plus years of sales, marketing, and entrepreneur life experience. With more than 30 years of entrepreneur experience, Paul knows what it takes to build a business with sustainable success. Paul is a husband and father of 3 sets of twins. Paul's personal success as an international trainer, keynote speaker, best-selling author, radio show host, multi-level marketing leader, life coach, and business consultant has set him above the rest. His successes include moving multi-millions of dollars in real estate and over 15 million in informational products in the last 10 years. With his primary focus on multiple streams of income, Paul has built up several businesses in information marketing, network marketing, real estate investing, and now speaks and coaches internationally, teaching others how they can create this success in their own lives while doing it different. The Maverick way is the way he does it. Let's give a high five. Give me some energy. Give me some energy. Welcome, Paul Fink, to the stage. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank
Awesome,
you so much.
awesome,
It's a
awesome.
pleasure being here.
Thank you for coming.
And you're one of the first to absolutely separate out the slogan, do it different with different in quotes. And I've got to ask, what made you do that?
What made me do that was because that was what made you stand out to me. Because after reading all of your information, I saw how you took all of the big wigs that have coached you along the way and that you've networked with along the way, you rubbed shoulders with. You took all of that and you're doing your own spin on things, because remember, I heard you speak at a Women's Prosperity Network, a conference. Yes. Back in, then you came and spoke for me in Atlanta when I hosted my first out-of-state event. So I know what you have to offer. I know how you perform, and I know how you certainly give to the audience. And I certainly must say, you do things differently. You have your own style, and I love it.
Say the least.
I love it.
I got to say that do it different is an expression that grammatically is incorrect. And I know that it's supposed to be do it differently.
That's okay. I like it.
And that's the joke. And I cannot tell you the number of people that have come up to me to correct my grammar. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's do it different.
Yeah.
And then they look at me like, yeah, it's differently. I went, no. That's the point. Yes.
I like that. I like what you just said. I'm going to go in on you right now. I know I'm stopping you because you know what?
Right.
This is where a lot of people get off track, because the vision, Paul, was what was given to you.
Yeah.
And then when you are getting your vision from divine purpose, it's not supposed to make sense to everybody.
That is true. That is true. And it's, and we're going to jump right in and talk about some things that will really benefit everyone here. Jumping right in, only the understanding that as a leader, our job is to share our vision and to clarify what that divine purpose was that we received, and to put it into words and to create a picture and paint a picture for everybody else.
That's right.
When we actually do that effectively, that's when we're a true leader, is because then that divine vision, if you will, actually is something that people can follow. And we're the conduits to be able to put that into pictures and words and to share it so that other people get it. And that's our job. That's what I do every day, is to create that vision. And as true leaders, I teach people how to step up and actually design their vision, really speak it, and then how to share it and how to share it effectively so that people can really buy into it, so that they can really tap into it and experience it fully and be guided by it.
I think that's awesome. I love that. And that's exactly right. Good leaders do implement those things so that other people can gain and glean from the services, the products, the teachings, the knowledge that you have to offer. And I want to just start with the question. I have a question that I would like to ask you now. How about that? I would like to know why are you called the Maverick Millionaire? Now that one I've always wondered about. Yeah. And what motivated you to succeed?
There's two components. So the Maverick Millionaire, one is the millionaire part. Well, that's kind of obvious. Only I'll say because I have created millions and I help people how to do the same. And so many people get hung up on this money issue. And I got to tell you, when you have money, you can do so much more. And you can do so much more, not just for your own little community, but for the world. And so I'm a firm believer in grab hold of the abundance, have it flow in so that you can actually change things. So you can actually have the power, the influence, and the ability to actually do what you want in the world and how to change it, how to move it, and how to influence it. Because money, we're in that economy that money matters. And so learning how to attract it to you is really key. The rest of the story is Maverick. And I changed brands to the Maverick Millionaire about 7 years ago now. And what's interesting is as I went through this branding process and to say, what do I resonate with? And I was in a brainstorming session with somebody and they said, well, what have you done? What has been your history? And I went through the history of who I was and what I've done and what my career path. And they said, I don't know whether this is really, what your brand might be, but all I keep hearing is Maverick. And I went, and it spoke to me. And the Maverick part is that ever since I can remember, so I graduated from college, I went right into straight commission sales. I've never worked for anybody in 35 years now as an entrepreneur.
Wow.
And I've always done things very differently. Wait a second. I said just a slight untruth. I worked for somebody with a small salary and a commission for 7 weeks. Right out of college. 7 weeks. It paid just enough time for me to kind of move out of my parents' house, move into an apartment and paint it. And then I got bored. I went, all right, this job is not working for me. And I quit. Imagine a college grad, how proud my parents were. I quit my salaried position to go with the competition that was straight commission.
Wow.
And I never looked back. Within 6 months, I had my best friend working for me because I wanted to have some fun. And I figured, well, what's better than having your best friend like hang out with you all day? So I hired my best friend and we got to hang out all day together. And
that was smart. That was a smart move.
I've always been, and again, slightly different. And I looked at it like, oh, this is how I want my life to be, how I want to design it. Well, let me figure out how to make that happen. And he didn't have anything really going on. I was like, hey, come hang out.
Yeah.
And within a year of graduating from college, I had my first company. We had, it was in the medical field. And so I designed a distribution company with 7 salespeople, all of which were about 20 to 30 years my senior. Mm-hmm. And so I really jumped in and started right away in creating this pathway of entrepreneurship, of risk taking, of watching opportunities and grabbing hold. Now, some people go, oh man, so you've always been like this. You've always had that success. Well, maybe. I've been a little bit off. I've been a little bit, I go in and I jump in and I'm absolutely a risk taker. However, it didn't always turn out so great.
Oh, wow.
What I normally don't talk about is, so 6 months I hired my best friend. 1 year I'm a success. I've got this great business. We did like $500,000-$600,000 in the first 6 months of business.
Wow.
And then it collapsed.
Unbelievable.
Then it collapsed. Then it was over. And one of the things I did is I had a partner that I didn't vet out, that I didn't know. And he was a young guy. I was a young guy. Hey, this sounds great. Let's go. And there was an opportunity and we went forward with it. And it wasn't until 6 months after that I found out, well, we started fighting, we started self-destructing, we started having. And sometime later, I found out he suffered from bipolar manic depression, and the stress of the growth of the company put him over the edge. And absolutely, and it was devastating, but it was one of those things, really great lesson. However, so the risk taking doesn't always go, oh man, look, you're just a super success. Look how easy it is. There are things that you learn with experience, that you learn along the way on really what's important. I've learned how to pick partners much better. And design companies. Only that's where I was from the beginning. And so being a maverick was always my way, and doing things just a little bit differently, looking beyond the box, looking around the corners. I teach people that you've got to know the rule book. You've got to know how the world works.
I always say, Paul, I got to tap that right there, because I always tell people, no matter what we're involved in, there are always rules to the game. And we got to know the rules.
You got to know them. And as a maverick, what I teach is, once you know them, you know how to also not just get around them, because I'm not talking about doing things illegal,
right?
But knowing, so often I experience people that they don't know the rules, or they don't know them really specifically. And so what happens is they go, well, that's where the border is. It's somewhere over there. So I'm going to go way back here with how I operate, because I don't know where exactly the line is. When you know where the line is, you can go right to it and operate right there on the line. That gives you all the advantage, all the opportunity, without going into the area that you shouldn't, the illegal area or the immoral area. But understanding where that line is gives you such an advantage. And most people never study it enough or get aware enough to know where that is, so that they can operate in that space. And that's where advantage and opportunity lies.
Yes, and that's why coaches are so important. And I think that is one of the shortcomings of something that sometimes people, even though they invest in coaches, they don't realize what they really have in their hand, and they don't realize how valuable it is to follow the instructions. I was just thinking to myself the other day, because I coach as well, and I stress that it's not just about me doing the homework or following the rules of the assignment. It's about me being obedient, because if I'm obedient, that's going to make me do what needs to be done. And when I do what needs to be done because I was obedient, then guess what? I get the result.
Yeah. And I'll temper that. It's I talk about it being intentional and being on purpose. And I apologize, obedient from my maverick point of view just doesn't fit. So yeah, it's not obedience, it's being on purpose.
It's the same thing. It's the same.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just not used to that word, but if you're coaching and they're not following your rules, if you're not following what you're telling them to do, then that means that they're being rebellious. And when I'm guilty. Yeah. I didn't always do what I was told to do, and I realized later I was wasting money, and I was realizing later, guess what? I still have to go back and get it done. So I've developed, and my personal development skills, I've learned now to just do what I'm told to do, make sure I have those assignments done, because it's always improving my skills for me. But that's for me.
Yeah. When you're in a coaching relationship, you've got to be what I've learned is moldable talent.
Yeah.
You've got to be where a coach is feeding you great information, where they're giving you the skill sets, they're giving you the step-by-step. You've got to be able to receive and adjust.
Absolutely.
And unless you can receive and adjust, you are wasting your money. You're not creating that shift and that change that the coaching program is supposed to be implementing with you. And really.
You got a few comments up here. Dorothy says, did she take risks? and some fail. Some risks have prosperity. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Oh, hell yeah. 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 It's yeah, one of the biggest challenges that I see with most entrepreneurs is they don't take enough risk because of that concern. Hey, buddy, that concern with Doug's awesome. That with that concern about failure, that concern about, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose. You know, the expression is, I'm going to lose everything. The drama words, and it's so important that you've got to learn to fail, and you've got to be a great success at failure.
I agree.
Because until you can do that, you're not able to actually find the success. You know, the analogy of a baseball player where, you know, a 300 batting average is absolutely over the top. It's just phenomenal. And yet that means that 70% of the time they fail. If you're a business owner and you say, yeah, I failed 70% of the time, most people who are novices think that you're a complete failure. Whereas the people that are highly successful, and the people, when you start talking to high wealth builders and high level of operators, players in the marketplace, you will find 60 to 70% failure rate still means that they're multi millionaires. And that's where most people, they're like, that's a disconnect for them. And so when you really love failure and you're able to jump in and take more risks, which is where failure lies, it's when you really succeed at a high level, because your stats, your chances of succeeding go up exponentially. And that's where the magic happens.
Absolutely, and I agree. It's no way you can have success without having failure. You have to fail. Like, and I've heard people use the term failing forward. Yes. You have to fail in order to succeed, because that's a part of the conditioning. That's a part of the journey. And I have this saying that I say, and I read it one day, and I just, oh my God, I fell in love with it, because it says that failure is the ingredient that gives success its flavor. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, so success tasted really good to me when I started receiving major amounts of it, because I had failed so much before that. I had been 35 years now as an entrepreneur. And I would say, you know, I had moderate success. It was up, down, sideways, but I got to a point where I was making somewhere around $80,000, $100,000 a year. And you go, all right, that sounds pretty good. And
yeah, that is good.
At the time, I had a wife and 2 children, and things were going okay. $100,000, and you know, you could go out, you could go on vacation once a year, go out to dinner on a regular basis. You're okay. Yeah. Then things changed. And you mentioned it in my introduction. I have 6 children. I have 3 sets of twins. And so with that, we went from a family of 4, my wife and I, and our first set of twins, 2 children, to a family of 8 in 14 months.
Wow.
And so my whole financial makeup turned upside down. Like, everything shifted. Now, a family of 8. I had 6 kids under 6 years old. A family of 8, $100,000 is poverty level. Especially, I live in Fairfield County, Connecticut, and I got to tell you that it is. I didn't know how close to poverty level I was. However, I was damn close to being able to apply for food stamps.
Oh, wow.
We were with a family of 8.
Yeah.
And I really had to learn, and I picked myself up, and I really got creative and looked deep inside of me to grow and to develop. So often it's so easy to just kind of get complacent or to accept your talents and just run with it at a minimal level. And that's kind of what I did. And as I've coached for the last now 15 years, I've been in this position of coaching. Yeah, I watch people, and most people don't stand up to their fullest potential. They
I
never
know.
quite step into their power.
I
And
know.
it's such
Absolutely.
a shame. And I feel like, so my kids now are 19, 20, and 24.
Wow.
And so we've gone through the test of time.
I know
My
you have.
greatest successes. And now I look back, and it's been over the last 19 years and really in the last 15 where I really stepped up my game, got clear with who I was, and created abundance in my world. And that is so important that everyone realize your purpose in life is to stretch and drive to your fullest potential.
Mm-hmm.
To really get clear with what that might look like. And
Right.
you do not know what it looks like because it's just beyond your vision right now. Everything you want is in a place you've never been. All your vision, all your fullest potential, everything you could be is just outside of your vision, just outside of your ability to see. And so you don't even realize where you could go. You got to start walking. You got to start climbing the mountain to be able to see more and more of the horizon.
That's good stuff for our new entrepreneurs. I hope we have some new entrepreneurs out there that will listen to this if they haven't heard it, because you're talking really good information for those people who are just getting started.
This is the real deal. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I got another question for you.
Ed.
If you had to do it all over again, because I could see, I can imagine, you had some challenges, but you succumbed all of them. And you, like they say, you're living to tell the story and to be an example for others. But my question to you is, if you had to do it all over again, would you? What would you say? Would you do it all over again?
A couple of things, Yeah, as far as a question like that, if you had to do it all over again, would you? I am blessed with just an amazing wife. We started dating 34 years ago. I'm blessed with 6 amazing children. And so I wouldn't change a thing. Like, we've got just an amazing life right now. What I would advise, what I might advise myself to create more, what I might advise new entrepreneurs that are just starting out now. One is, you got to believe in yourself. One of the things that I didn't do early on is believe, although I was crazy, I was a risk taker, I still had that chit chat in my head. I had that self-doubt. I had that insecurities. And for everyone to recognize that you are better than you think you are. You are more powerful than you think you are. You are just an amazing human being. And what you can do, what you can accomplish is so much greater than you ever thought. And so that firm belief in your own power, your own self, is really important. And so I would want to build that up inside of me so that I was more confident and more assured early on. I also would talk about work ethic, and work ethic is something that I had early on, and it's something that I would instill in others to really value. Understanding that as an entrepreneur, we give up working. We refuse to work 40 hours a week so that we can work 80. That's the understanding of an entrepreneur, is that we'll put in the time and effort for a brighter future. We'll put in the focused energy on Saturdays, on Sundays, at night. We'll do what it takes to create a magnitude of abundance sometime down the road. And that's really key for entrepreneurs, and to value it and to respect it and to desire to make that happen, rather than look to shun it or think it's bad. Because especially early on, it's really, really important.
Absolutely. We have a question for you. I don't know if you want to tackle this question now, later, but we have Deidre Favors. Hi, Deidre.
Hi,
Deidre's asking you a question. Can you see that question?
Yeah. Can you share your vetting process? Ooh. It depends. It depends on what I'm vetting out. So vetting out business partners is what I was talking about before. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is that for a business partner, a relationship is more empowering, and there's more to it than even a personal relationship. And which is where people, I think, go awry. They believe that their marriage is something that is sacred, and it is, only they don't look at that in the same way that they would a business relationship. However, I've realized that they're one and the same at the very least. Here's what I mean by that. With your significant other, you'll share personal things, and it's real important that you support each other on a personal level and on an emotional level. However, sometimes your finances are separate, and people have relationships where that's totally acceptable. In the business world, you not only need to be able to play together and work together and communicate effectively on an emotional and on an intellectual level, and you also must have your finances connected as well.
Absolutely.
And so there's not even a space for a caveat in a business relationship where there is in a personal. And it's so fascinating to me that we don't vet out a business relationship in the same way. So for instance, with a personal relationship, I would say, listen, you want a good, long-lasting relationship, you should be in a dating scenario for about 2 years to really get to know one another. In a business relationship, I met you on Friday, we liked each other, we had the same interests, let's do business together. Unbelievable. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. So, does that make sense?
Absolutely. I like that part when you say they wonder why it doesn't work. Come on now.
So the vetting process, first step is know them, trust them, love them, want to be in a long-term relationship with them. You don't want any of that or have any of that, and you haven't developed a relationship of many years, don't go into business with them. It is a huge mistake. And I've seen that after doing it myself and learning from all the relationships, business relationships that I was in, as well as watching and coaching now people over 15 years all around the world. And we have my coaching clients. We coach people from startup to just getting started. My largest client right now is over $250 million in assets and 5-6 different companies.
Awesome. Wow.
And everything in between. And so really getting clear with what relationships on the business world look like is where this advice comes from. I will tell you, and one other component is I don't talk from books, although I've read all the books. I have all the books around me. I have a business library of over 1,000 books that I've absorbed and digested over 35 plus years. I teach from my experience, and I coach from that place as well. I'll never coach you to do something that I've never done. And fortunately, I've been in a lot of different industries. I've been in a lot of crazy scenarios, so I can coach in a lot of different places. However, I'll always coach from experience, not from just book learning. And so often I hear people quote things from a book and they're like, well, how do you know that really works? Well, I read it. Well, I got to tell you, there's a lot of contradictory information out there. So I like reading it. I study it. I apply it. I create success from it.
Yeah.
Then I can tell you, you know what? I know this works. I created success. So I know, at least for me, this pathway works. I can guide you down that path.
I like that. And that's very vital. It took me a long time to learn how to coach, or what I was struggling. It wasn't a struggle. It's just that when you start off, first of all, it takes time to get your business going. And with being the creative, the visionary, and our minds always going, you're always coming up with new ideas. And I'm like you. I like what you said. You have to try it in order to know whether or not it works. Yes. And when it works, then we're on to something. I always say to myself, as it relates to me hosting my events, when I come up with ideas as to what am I going to teach in this workshop? What am I going to do for this event? With that, when I sell that first ticket, it's over. It's over. It's a go. It's a go. So that's kind of how I use my way of determining, whether or not it's really what I think that the people that would serve others. Which takes me into another question for you. Who do you serve? Who do you serve? Once now that you've gotten all of that in place, I know you're an expert, no doubt about it. I know you know where you're going, how to get there, and I know you can lead others. But what is your target market? Who are those that you serve? Who you?
Yeah. So outside of my wife and my children. Yeah. Who I serve. Yeah. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I'm in a family of 8. And so in a family of 8, now you think I'm the head of the household. Yeah, no. So it's my wife, my 6 children, and then me. I'm way down. I'm down here. So I walk into any environment accepting the fact that I start off at number 8 and then we get moving. So anyway, who else do I serve? I serve entrepreneurs and small business owners, anyone that is looking to create a magnitude of abundance in their world through their own efforts. And they're not looking for handouts. They're not looking for a company to move them or promote them. My target audience are the people, and the people that really resonate with me, since I've never worked for anybody, are the people that want the same. The people that really understand that they're in control of their destiny. And they just want to know how to propel themselves down that journey faster.
Yes.
So it's small business owners. I also have a huge background in real estate. I started in real estate investing about 18, 19 years ago. Also was a realtor and a mortgage broker. So really clear understanding, and I've invested in almost everything there is: commercial, residential, short sale, wholesale, subject tos, rehabs, rehab flips. So I've done all those type of things. So really help a lot. About 70-80% of our clientele do real estate investing as either one of their primary or their secondary stream of income. I also work with a ton of coaches, speakers, trainers. Again, because it's a pathway that I've gone down, I can help them go down that same path and really structure. One of our clients recently came through. In a couple months, we were able to create a $70,000 influx of extra income in their coaching business.
Wow.
Just because of key components and key shifts. I also work within the multi-level marketing community. I've been a multi-level marketing leader since 1987 in one company or another over the years. And so multiple different verticals, if you will, with the key basis that it's entrepreneurial skill sets. There's certain business skill sets that are important to create magnitude for your life and your business. What attracts the abundance, if you will? Sales, marketing, branding, understanding how to position yourself to attract that abundance as well. And then the real clear internal game, because that's so important. And it's where most people go to last to get clarity, only it should be what you go to first. To get really clear. I started off with a psychology major. I'm trained as a clinical psychologist and social psychologist. So I'm really clear on the human condition. And then I also studied neurolinguistic programming, hypnotherapy, really how the brain works and how we operate with others. And with all those key components, then it's a matter of how does that translate into your abundance? How does that operate? Where's this showing up in your world as to how to utilize all these tools to be effective and to really be the attractive factor?
Yes, I want to go back to I thank you for that, because everything you're saying, I'm getting some questions, but you're answering these questions. But I want to acknowledge that, we talked about the the words that you had to share with the new entrepreneurs. First of all, I want to acknowledge Deidre. Thank you, Deidre, for asking that question about vetting, because you really expounded on that. And I saw her comment, and she said it makes perfect sense. And then we had Dorothy, who came along, and Dorothy came back and she said to serve, when you was talking about serving, she said to serve, you have to know who you are and where you're going in order to give direction to others. And that's definitely on point.
Dorothy, so important. And one of the things that really shifted me about 15 years ago, I had to get clear with who I was. And I went through what can only be described as a metamorphosis, really getting clear of why I was on this earth, what my purpose was, what my intentionality was, that understanding my focus to support and to be there as the stand for my family. I went through a real transformation. I used to, there's an expression of phoniness, of imposter syndrome, and I was very much in that space. I got a lot of accolades early on in my career, and I started believing, the devastation of the world. Start believing your own marketing. Start believing your own PR. Yeah, don't do that. Stay grounded. When I had 6 children and I came home and changed 20 to 24 diapers a day, I got really grounded and got really clear with who I was, which that's when my business catapulted. That's when I had real success, real abundance that I could feel, taste, that I could be a part of. And it was all from growing inside and really getting that clarity. So important, Dorothy. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for acknowledging that. And I have another question for you. I want to ask you, what have your clients been able to glean from you? What have they been able to accomplish since they've been working with you? And I did see you on platform one day when I attended one of your events, and you was sharing about how you serve people, your clients, and you had quite a few clients on there that kind of shared that they were testimonies.
Yeah,
and I thought that was really awesome. I mean, to see men actually share their weaknesses and then talk about how they went from that and they gained all this strength, guidance, and knowledge from you. I really enjoyed that. I mean,
thank you.
We don't see that a lot, not coming from me.
It's one of the things that I do almost across the board with as often as possible when I'm on a platform where it's my platform, or if I'm in a platform where there's some of my student population is there, my Mavericks, if you will, is that I'll make sure that they share, because for me, I'm an open book. I pull back the curtain. I'm here. I'm vulnerable. I'll share and answer any question that you want. And I let my students speak for themselves and let them show up to say, hey, this is what my experience with Paul has been. Mm-hmm. And with that, you hear the unvetted truth. It really helps. A videotape is one thing. Letting the real person speak is another. Yeah. And so over the years, I mean, I've been really blessed. I got trained as a speaker from one of the top level trainers in the country. And who's an international speaker, and he really trained me to step up my game. And so almost from the beginning, I've been a national and international trainer, speaker, coach. I've spoken and coached people all across the United States, Canada, Europe, South Africa, even. We keep looking for more and more countries to step into. So we're coast to coast, especially in the United States, and work with people in multiple different industries, multiple different verticals. And we work with people in what I would call three different hubs of categories. One is their internal game, really getting clear with who they are, what they do, kind of that metamorphosis I was talking about myself before, because your internal strength is what will dictate your external results.
Yes.
So how to build that up, how to strengthen your internal game so that you're in control of your emotions. You have high emotional intelligence. You're in control of your thoughts, your words, and you really can dictate that effectively. Mm-hmm. 2 is the external game, is systems, processes, understanding the tasks, the tools that you need. And then 3 is what business model or vehicle that you're driving in. Some people they're great internally. They've got all the right tools, only they're driving around in a jalopy, or they're operating in an industry that is totally challenged and they could never make millions. And you kind of go, okay, All we got to do is move you to another industry and you're on fire.
Awesome.
And so sometimes it's just the vehicle that you're driving in that's off. The results that we've created, we've taken people from 0 to 60. We've taken people, for instance, who we had a flight attendant. She came to us. She was making about $20,000 a year. And through adjusting and really vetting out what she wanted, what her passions were, what she wanted to be a part of, we created and structured a new business for her. We then, our Mavericks are a great community. And so they help fund other Mavericks in the roundtable, help fund her new business, all within a weekend, got designed and funded. And she went from, over the next year, from $20,000 in income to over $150,000 in income.
Wow.
Just overnight. And that's really key, is that we can take someone who doesn't know what's going on, doesn't have a clue as to where they're going, and really move them to another level.
So then that would take me to Dorothy's question that she asked earlier. And when you talked about the young lady that you that was the flight attendant, I guess could be considered a newbie. And Dorothy is asking, can you share that for a newbie, all of this information that you're sharing?
Where they need to start? They need to start with this. They need to start with hanging out with communities, getting connected and hearing the voices of top level people. Because, so often a newbie, and here's where people really get off track. I'm just getting started. I'm thinking, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start my own business. I think this is a great idea. So who do I talk to? I talk to my buddy to my left. I talk to my buddy to my right. I talk to my family members. And I say, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start business. Now, none of them have done this before. What do you think their answer is? They're like, are you crazy? Go get a job. What are you doing? This is just craziness. You're going to lose your shirt. You're going to lose everything. You're going to be homeless. You're nuts. Go get a job today. And they never think of it again.
That's powerful.
The one who's creating success, the one who absolutely makes it, are the ones who don't listen to the people to the left and the right of them. Because realize, birds of a feather flock together. You are hanging out with the people that, at the very least, you used to be. That you're the average of the 5 people you're hanging out with. And so the people that are around you are just like you. They don't have the answers. They don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Otherwise, they'd already be there. And so you've got to find the people that have already jumped the fence, have already jumped into new circles, new heights of success and abundance, people that you want to become. That's who you need to hang out with. And that's who you need to share your vision with. Those are the people that have can give you the feedback as to what to do next. And so your major task is to take yourself out of where you are and go stretch yourself and find places that you can be hanging out with people that have already jumped that fence, that are playing a different game.
I love it. I love it. That was well said. Well said.
It was one of the things that I did early on that really made the difference is, and I say early on, 15 years ago, I was making about 6 figures, about $100,000 a year, just barely, and went and hung out with multimillionaires on a semi-regular and then regular basis. And that shift, it's amazing when you start hanging out with millionaires and they make in an hour. No, better yet, they throw away in an hour what you make in a whole year.
Yeah, I believe
it's insane. And you start hanging out with them and you're like, oh, well, what's going on? I've watched guys throw away my whole year's salary in an afternoon, and you go, whoa.
I can imagine. Yes.
I learned in that stage how to just carry a bucket around and get them to throw their throwaway money my direction. and it's almost to the letter of the truth. I started a speaker support business. And so early on, when I was just kind of getting rolling, I started a speaker support business. I figured out what they needed. They, whoever the people that were in your industry that were highly successful. And I figured out what they needed and ran to their doorstep and would do whatever it took to serve them.
That's
and they
right.
gave me their throwaway money.
That's right.
And their throwaway money was megaton past my usual annual salary, and it catapulted me to another existence. And then I got an opportunity to hang out with people that were talking a different game. You know, when they're hanging out, and what my buddies and I do now is we talk about how to make our next million. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. It literally is, what's the next big project? What's the next big thing that'll create the next abundance?
Right.
That's what we talk about.
Yes.
And it's a whole different conversation. When you start talking to people and hanging out with people that do that every day, the chances of you stepping into $1 million idea increases exponentially. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to take a short break. We're going to go for a 30-second break, and I want to come back. I know you have an app. You want to talk about how they can reach those items that you have. I don't want to leave that out. And so if you could just let me breathe for a minute, I'm going to be honest with all y'all. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I'm experimenting. I love this platform. So I've been playing with my commercials. My girlfriend Lotus, she does these commercials, and she does it so smooth. So I'm going to try to put on another commercial right now.
So I'm going to tease them just for a minute. There's some great, huge gifts on the other side of this commercial. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, beautiful. We're back. I love it. We're back.
That worked.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to. I know you have some.
I got
you
some
want to talk? Wait a minute. Let me see what Deidre talking about. Pat, what did Deidre say? Deidre says. Oh wait, Deidre says. Pat, this is phenomenal broadcast. Thank you to both of you and Paul. Give me some energy, Paul. Give me some energy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Deidre.
You did it. Pleasure. And so we're going to go into these. We want to share with you all some of the announcements. And then Paul, you said you have some things you want to offer.
Huge.
I can start with this one. You want to go for it? Or you want?
Sure. So I've got several things for you that's coming up. One is the Maverick Success Live Sneak Peek. This is since the COVID days. Now, I've done boot camps. I've done over 250 live boot camps all around the world. And now that's a little bit restrictive. So we've gone to one-day events. And the greatest thing about this is that they are still free. So that it's a free event. It's me speaking all day, really training at a high level. The training that I usually gave in my boot camps, we're bringing to these one-day live events. You got to be there. It's October 15th, which is next Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time to 7 p.m. Eastern time. We can register. All you've got to do is go to MaverickSneakPeek.com. MaverickSneakPeek.com, and go there and you can register, and I would love to have you.
Awesome. Thank you. And then we have Dorothy. Dorothy, an announcement. I'll make this announcement. Dorothy, she's one of our viewers. She's having a conference called the Rejuvenate and Re-Energize virtual event online, of course. It's hosted by Dorothy Ross. That will be October the 29th through the 30th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And you can go to bit.ly/Dorothy invite. That will take you to her event. And all of these links I will put in the comment section once the interview session is over, so that people can just click on it. And then we have Virtual Caregivers and Business Awards 2020. That event is hosted by Women with Vision virtual event, November the 7th. And with that, that's also a free event. That is a free event. And you can go to www as in Victor, Women with Vision 2020.eventbrite.com. And that is a company, one of the organizations that I promote their events. I brand them all across social media, and we fill the seats. And I know you know about filling the seats. And then the last thing we have, I want to talk about the schedule. Oh, let me tell you this. You can schedule your live interview on Facebook, your live interview with me by going to patriciarogers.com/spotlight you. And your this interview that we're doing is on Facebook, it's on YouTube, and it's on several different platforms. And we can post it to as many groups as we want to, even prior to coming on. So if you want more exposure, go to patriciarogers.com/spotlight you and pick a package. And then we want to talk about you. How about that? Did you elaborate on that yet?
We've got two things. I'm going to talk about this and then one other.
Okay.
We've got an app on the App Store and on Google Play, and it's got 30, 50 different trainings that are absolutely free. You go there, you register, and you can stream them, you can download them, you can do what you need to do. They're all there on the App Store for you. Go to mavericksuccessapp.com. It's a website that we set up to make it really easy for you to click. Both Google and Apple and downloads are there, so you can grab hold of it easy. So go to mavericksuccessapp.com.
Okay. And what else do you have, Paul?
And we've got Maverick Offer. Is that on one of your slides, or we'll just talk about it?
Did we do Maverick Offer? What was that? I don't think I have that on my slide.
You're going to do, all of you got to go to and absolutely type this in, Patricia, into the chat, is Maverick Offer. So maverickoffer.com. This is really key because this is off the charts as to what I'm offering you here.
Bam! There it is.
Perfect.
Bam!
With everything that's going on and it's with everything that's going on, it's actually Paul at paulfink.com. Sorry about that. Probably my mistake, Patricia.
No, I get it.
But maverickoffer.com, and here's what it is. With everything that's been going on with the COVID challenge and with life and the craziness that's been going on this year, one of the things that I started doing is helping people out and really giving them time and energy of my own. This is my own donation, if you will, and contribution to our society. And where you can go to maverickoffer.com and get a free consult with me. These are true consults. I do talk to you about everything else that's going on in our community and our world that you can participate in or not. However, I guarantee you we're going to be talking about what's real with your business, what's real with your life, and how really key advice and steps as to what you can be doing to change the bar for yourself, really move the needle, bring in abundance and more abundance into your world. And you want to be a part of our Maverick community? Great. There's opportunity to do that as well. Only the real key with the going to maverickoffer.com is you can make an appointment. It opens up to my scheduler, and you can grab hold of an appointment that's effective for you, where it's just you and I one-on-one, where we talk turkey and we really talk clear about what you want to do and how you're going to get there. So this is huge. In addition to that, when you go through the link, so you go to maverickoffer.com, it's going to bring you to a page. You're going to punch in your name and email, and you're going to be able to get to my scheduler and make an appointment with me personally. You're also going to be able to grab hold of, and this is totally free, there's no additional obligation needed. It's a 5-day training series on time management. And it's something I created a little bit ago that is really key. It's one of the key challenges of entrepreneurs is really how to manage their time effectively. And so we bring you through 5 different days of training that you get completely free, where you get to really get clear with what's going on with your own time management, how you're prioritizing time, and really how you're utilizing it to the highest and best use. So all that is possible just by going to maverickoffer.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. I have really enjoyed you today. I love your energy. I love your
It's
energy and
delicious.
and I tell you, you certainly are what I like to call seasoned. Seasoned. I mean, you could tell those people who are so experienced because and definitely have a passion for what you do
Yeah.
because your words just roll off of your tongue. I normally get a little more word in, but you know what? I'm just sitting here enjoying you myself. You know, and I'm just enjoying playing with these controls because I got to pat myself on the back because I did it all right today, y'all. How about that? I got that information in there today. Go StreamYard. Yes,
So
yes.
we're gonna have to do this again so that I'll give you a word in. How's that?
Yeah, absolutely,
Perfect.
absolutely. And so with that, I gotta maybe let me see if I have any more comments. And we have Dorothy says hang around the same arena that the people hang out in that you want to be like. I so agree. It works for me all the time. It has taken me Women's Prosperity Network, being Walsh, you know where I hang out at.
Yep.
And I'm telling you,
All great.
6 years
All
after
great.
being retired, I'm telling you, yes. I'm reaping the benefit of my labor. Also, we have who else said something?
Can't get enough with these people. They will share with you.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Dorothy.
I don't have on my good glasses either. I'm faking it. Okay, and I think that's all we have for comments today. And again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hang out enough with millionaires, and oh yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And we're gonna close. And we're gonna close with the one thing I want you all to go to. I may have put that in the comment section, and I think I put some of your stuff in that comment section, but I'll go back and double check.
Right.
I'm still writing my book. I finished my book, and I had it almost finished, and I had gotten the EIN number, and the sample was on Amazon prior to COVID. So right as that happened, I had to go back and regroup because now I'm rewriting my book to talk about online event. So we're still visiting that as I have hosted 8 online events. This will be my 8th online event coming up. Next in about a week or so, we're going to teach a training on StreamYard. Ladies and gentlemen, go to me in the chat. And if you want to know more about that, but we are only doing 30 people and we almost have those seats filled. So having said, you can go to StreamYard.eventbrite.com to check that out if you like. StreamYard.eventbrite.com. I love you all. And I would like to give you a chance, Paul, to say, oh, wait a minute. Comments are still coming in. I can't believe this. Hold up. Let me see. Carla says, Carla, thank you. Carla says, thank you for showing up. She's thanking you for all your kind words. Marsha has a word. Oh, workaholic. Yes, we are workaholics. Okay, I can take that. I eat that all day long. I have a headache now because I haven't slept all night.
And I will say that some people look at workaholic as a negative. I will say that I'm really good at balance. And yet balance is being effective at doing what you want to create the life that you want to have. And it's not about whether you're working all day or playing all day. I got to tell you, this is a pure pleasure. So I work all the time or I play all the time. I'm not sure which. That when you're working your passion, it is not work.
It's not work.
And it's truly, it is just that amazingness. So
thank you, Marsha, for tuning in. And I'm a caregiver for Marsha, so she jumped on. And I want to give you an opportunity to give the audience some, maybe just a quick affirmation or something. Just leave it with some inspiring comment or something, or book to read, or whatever you want to leave them with. And I just can't thank you enough for coming. I'm excited.
Absolutely go to maverickoffer.com. Absolutely learn to live in your fullest potential and your fullest power. Strive to move outside of your comfort zone. And how you know you're there is you will be scared to death because it'll be in that place that you've never been before. And that's where you should be living every day to get the most out of life and to really step into your true power and your fullest potential. Dare to be there. And when you need someone by your side to guide you through that darkness, that's what a good coach does. That's what our communities do. Absolutely reach out and see what we can be there for you and how we can be there for you. And God bless. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.